Hey guys, so I wanted to get on and make this video real quick, and I'm gonna really try to make this a quick one. I do not want another 30-40 minute video. I made a video the other day, and basically it was about AI and how that's all horrible and awful, and if you want to watch that and my honest thoughts about AI, go watch the video from yesterday. Not yesterday, a few days ago. Last video on the channel. We're not ready for what's gonna go out with AI, basically all of that. I wanted to get on and change gears and again, make a quick video about the positives of AI, because while there is a lot of negatives, there could be positives, and I'm going to list off a few that for me would impact me, and obviously, for you can, everyone's into different stuff, and of course, everyone's going to be thinking about different stuff whenever it comes to AI. One of the first thoughts that I had, positive-wise, and actually, I want to make a point real quick. I tried to make a video before this, positive for AI. I failed. I could not be positive. I got like 10 minutes in, and I was just boom, 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 boom. We're not going to do that. So for the first thing, the potential for video games. So like, for example, you kind of have this idea in the back of your head that like things like, growing up, VHS to CD, you're like, okay, there won't be anything that's next. For the physical consoles, you're like, okay, it's going to be a physical console forever. But at what point is it not going to be a physical console? And at what point are you going to get like, I don't know, a little like flash drive that you plug into your TV and it connects to some server, and you don't have games, nothing like that. You literally just have some like creative thing where you go into this blank space and you're like, okay, I want to play Black Ops 2 zombie style in my high school, and I want it set in the 1880s, and you make all of it, right? You literally have the ability to create anything. And with AI, that would absolutely be possible. For those who have seen Ready Player One, like the full body suits, the VR headset, we got AR goggles now, which are crazy. We're going to continue to see advancements in VR technology, which is basically just like, if you don't know what that is, you put on like a headset and you can, I don't know, it's like you're there. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's gonna blow up. We're not going to continue to see physical consoles like a PlayStation. There's going to be maybe a PS6 and a physical console. We're going to see like the xCloud, Xbox, or whatever that is, partnered with Steam. But after that, I do not see a physical console existing, and that's kind of cool. It's also not kind of cool for reasons that I'm not going to get into because this is a positive video, but so yeah, maybe using that for video games, and I want you to, you can be as creative as you want. Obviously, I could see there being licensing issues. For like example, if I wanted to like be Spider-Man, and I'm facing off against like Boba Fett, right? Or like Godzilla, obviously those companies own the IPs, and so I don't know if you'd have to like get a subscription where you like pay so much money to like own the subscription for Disney or Hasbro or whatever to like not own but have a usership for those IPs to use in a game like that. But it could be really, really cool, and it would be very expressive, and in the perfect vision of that, everyone could share what they make, and it could be like Minecraft but at a level we can't really comprehend, which would be really cool. The next major positive, obviously this one is not just for me, but for everyone, right? For medical technology, the advancements we're going to see medical-wise are going to be insane. And AI has the potential to, I'm not exaggerating whatever I say, to solve everything. It's going to have the infinite IQ. It's going to have the ability to solve anything. The most mentally intensive things ever, such as like figuring out like different ways to do neurosurgery, or like an arm transplant, or like a heart transplant, or lung transplants. It's going to be able to exponentially help us, not with just with the technology, but just like the methods, basically. And that's if it's not doing it itself, using like robotic arms and stuff like that. And you've seen stuff like that. We've had stuff like that. And unfortunately, that's going to more so come down to the individuals, the CEOs who own these, individual AI, and whether they want that information to become public, whether they want the public to be able to utilize the AI in a way that they can figure out that information for themselves. I doubt it, right? But you want to be optimistic, and again, I'm making this video to be optimistic, and I would like to see AI solve cancer, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, diabetes, find a way to if not cure, to deal with and mitigate and slow down all of these different diseases. And you could even get crazier than that. You could get crazier. For example, my professor, Dr. Kirk Connors, 3-4 years ago, back whenever I was in college, had the bright idea to inject himself with lizard DNA. He was missing his arm. I don't know how that happened. Didn't ever ask him, right? And what do you know? His arm grew back, but he turned into a lizard, and I had to deal with that, and that sucked. But while I'm being funny, what if we're moving into a reality in which, like, obviously we're not going to see someone turn into a giant lizard, but what if we could utilize DNA and CRISPR and genome editing and utilize this for regrowing limbs, the regeneration of cells, and boy, once you get into AI and so let's say AI figures out how to regenerate cells at a level that is like, somebody in their late teens who is just, exploding with cells, right? That would mean, which is crazy because this is all going to be, very, very soon, this is going to be turned on. That would mean that within our lifetime, and in our lifetime, we're going to see the first person who maybe isn't immortal like a vampire where they're literally going to live to see the sun explode, but they may live 500 to 1,000, 2,000 years. Sounds crazy, right? Oh, you just wait. Just wait till come back to this video in 2042, September 2042. Yeah, we're going to have people live into 500. They're not going to be 500 yet, but the technology to do it, definitely going to be there. So that's really cool. Obviously, those are the crazy examples, very hypothetical, very theoretical. But you do have to be hypothetical and theoretical whenever it comes to this stuff because there are no bounds, infinite IQ, not measured by science, infinite IQ. There are no bounds to that. And so that's cool. So video games, medical technology, both really, really good. Some simpler ones like ease of access in cars, ease of access with GPS, ease of access with, self-driving, talking to your car if that's something that you want to do, if you want to have a conversation with your car. I'm not really interested in doing that, personally. Sometimes I don't plug in my stuff right, and it says, sync not connected to blah, 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 and it literally makes me want to hit my dash. I would hate it if my car talked to me any more than it already did. So I don't know. Maybe there's someone out there for that. But ease of access, this is, some of you may think this is creepy, but you could have it in your house for a smart house. It could have stuff ready for you if you like making a certain meal at a certain day. It could have the oven preheated for you. Fun stuff like that. So that's cool. But it's simpler. Right, and and I don't know if this is, again, this is kind of, I tried to make a video, and this is kind of where I got lost, so I'm going to try to restate this point in a way that still remains, if not anything, neutral. One of the big things that we're going to see is the dramatic way that AI plays an influence on the education system. That goes for pre-K, kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, college, any sense of academics, any academic, I don't know, any college, anything like that. But anyways, it's going to be interesting to see how they implement that, because basically, whether you want to believe it or not, AI is going to be implemented into every avenue of everything very, very soon, with every major. If that major still exists, in 5 years. But, so that could be good, though, because there are ways to use AI that is very beneficial. I know for me, obviously you would have those, you're like, oh, I had ChatGPT write my entire paper. Obviously, ChatGPT sucks at writing papers. So if you did that, I don't know, man. But what you can do is you could definitely use it and find sources, and then you validate if the sources are correct, and if they are, you can use them, and it's much easier than combing through Google. But that's a positive for right now, right? If you're in a research setting in college or doing whatever, and you need help with like Google Scholar articles, ChatGPT can absolutely help you with that, and it can be a lifesaver. Um, but man, to entertain all of these positive ideas about it, it is really tough because my honest thoughts are that the ones in control of this are going to use it for our damnation, basically, for lack of better words. I really hope I'm wrong again, because I would love to see it. And this is like, I don't even have like a way of like really categorizing what I mean specifically whenever I say this. But we're going to see technology beyond anything that you can comprehend. I mean, basically, like in the same way of like, if you were to tell our parents, back in the 80s, hey, we're going to have this box and it's going to have everything on it ever. And we can watch YouTube and call and FaceTime across the way and all of this stuff. It's crazy. It'd be crazy to them. For us, it's nothing. It's just an aspect of daily life. And so we're going to start seeing this implementation of technology that seems crazy, but it's just going to become daily life. And I hope that's not all bad. I hope that technology isn't just like to use against us for authoritarian power, but you never know. You never know. But yeah, there are positives to be found. And those are just the ones off the top of my head. So, video games, technology, you got medical technology, you got education system technology, which would hopefully improve it, and then technology, just basic technology, it could, in theory, within 2-3 years, thrust us into what many philosophers have long considered, probable and theoretical, which is humanity's golden age, which is, in definition, basically the idea that we have peaked technologically, that we have peaked in a way that we have exceeded all thought possible. We haven't done that quite yet. We've done humanity has done amazing things, incredible things, but what AI can do for us, with us, against us, it's going to be far beyond any of that. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out. And, a large part of me wanted to make this video to prove to anyone that thinks that I'm all pessimistic and they watch my videos and you're like, wow, you're really a hater. You just are a Debbie Downer. Yeah, maybe. But a large part of me has always looked at both sides of the coin. And that's very important to do, by the way, right now. If you feel yourself really entrenched in one side of anything right now, I would really implore you, if anything, even if it brings disgust to your soul, to go and watch something or someone that you maybe apparently disagree with. I would challenge you to do that, and I would challenge you to listen to what they have to say and ask yourself, as they talk and how they articulate themselves, why do I disagree with them? How do I disagree with them? And if I was in a debate, what would I do? And how would I convey that I disagree with you in a way that actually has meaning to it, that actually has grounds, and that person can take that into consideration and be like, okay, I can work with this and I can give you an answer. Anyways, I'm getting off topic, but I just wanted to come on and make this real quick. There is so many amazing things that could come out of this, and I don't want everyone to be under the 100% assumption that this is all going to be terrible. Again, I'll kind of close it with this and leave it with this. All of it's coming down to the CEOs, the ones who own this, the ones who own these individual AIs. And I'm not going to name names, but I would implore you, if you're interested in any of this AI stuff, to look up who these CEOs are, to look up who funds them, to look up who these CEO fund themselves, who is under them, right? You'd be very fascinated at what you find, maybe, depending on if you can put the pieces together. But I really pray for a world of peace, a world of love, and it's possible. It has always been within our grasp. We have always eluded it. We have always run from it. And man, it would be amazing to, at the same time that we are peaking technologically, find a way to achieve a sense of peace that goes beyond, any physical, geological spectrum, anything like that, but, on a spiritual level, find peace. Even through those who are, very different than us. Is what life is all about, is differences, right? And, there's so much uncertainty right now. And it's okay to be uncertain. Absolutely okay to be uncertain, but don't let it eat you up. And always try to look for the positives. Like, if I can find positives on this, and I can see a narrow path that we, humanity, could go down that would just be amazing with all of this technology. I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to be able to see that side of the coin. And with that, I hope that you guys have a great day. I'm going to be back on here very soon. These videos are my absolute favorite. I'm going to be talking about AI 10 a lot, among a ton of other things. And I hope that you guys listening, get something from it. And I'm just very thankful for anyone who does. And I hope that you guys have a great day.